Today we're going to be looking at the poem Twice by Rossetti, and our LO today is to consider how religion is presented in Rossetti's poem. Please make sure you have your notes for the poem, obviously, as well as any contextual notes that you may wish to refer to or add to in this lesson. So firstly, our entry task, I guess, will be what relationship does Rossetti have with religion? And I don't just want you to say what religion was she, but what exactly were her feelings on it, because actually it's quite a deep thing to really go into. So have a consideration of that. So the poem then. I took my heart in my hand, oh my love, oh my love. I said, let me fall or stand, let me live or die. But this once hear me speak, oh my love, oh my love. Yet a woman's words are weak, you should speak, not I. You took my heart in your hand with a friendly smile, with a critical eye you scanned, then set it down. And you said, it is still unripe, better wait a while. Wait until the skylarks pipe, till the corn grows brown. As you set it down it broke, but I did not wince. I smiled at the speech you spoke, at your judgment that I heard, but I have not often smiled since then, nor questioned since, nor cared for cornflowers wild, nor sung with the singing bird. I take my heart in my hand, O my God, O my God, my broken heart in my hand, thou hast seen, judge thou. My hope was written on sand, O my God, O my God, now let thy judgment stand, ye judge me now. This contempted man of a man, this marred one heedless day, this heart take thou to scan, both within and without. Refine with fire its gold, purge thou its dross away. Ye hold it in thy hold, whence none can pluck it out. I take my heart in my hand, I shall not die, but live. Before thy face I stand, I, for thou callest such. All that I have I bring, all that I am I give. Smile thou, and I shall sing, but shall not question much. Okay, so do have a quick read through that poem again, and probably another read through, because it is a long one and it is quite a wordy one, I suppose you could say. And have a consideration about what you think it's about. Bear in mind, link obviously to the LO, so you know there is a religious element to it, but what specifically about it is relevant. What's the structure of it, and what can we link to context, bearing in mind the entry task and of course what you think the poem is about. So the summary then. The female speaker offers her heart to her beloved, but he does not appreciate the gesture, and he does not believe her to be ready for such a commitment, or he isn't ready for it himself. She feels her heart is breaking and becomes depressed before bringing her bruised heart to God. She asks God to judge her accurately and perfect her love, knowing that her heart will be secure in his hands. Aware of her acceptance by God, with a renewed sense of optimism, the speaker commits her whole life to him, willing to accept whatever it is that he asks her to do. Okay? So when it's broken down like that, it's actually quite a simplistic idea of, the suitor turns her down, so she turns to God and God accepts her, and so therefore that's her life, she dedicates it to God. And again, you can see parallels with that in Rossetti's life. Particularly the fact that she had 3 suitors, to turn them down, particularly one of them because he converted back to his previous religion. So she picks God over men, and is willing to do whatever it is, whatever it takes. And we know that she takes that quite seriously. She gives up, the fun things of life, I suppose you could say, to be humble and be worthy of God in her eyes. Okay, so the theme then, the big theme, of course, is judgment. She mentions judge a few times in the poem. So throughout the final few verses of Twice, the speaker anticipates the coming judgment of God. Wanting to prepare herself for this judgment, she suggests that God scan her heart and purge it from any dross or worthless matter. Christians believe that after death and upon the return of Christ to the world, every human life will be brought to a final account by God, with Jesus as the judge. All lives will be exposed, and those who have not responded to the revealed will of God will be shut out from his presence of good, whilst believers will be welcomed into his presence forever. By moving from a consideration of the judgment that her beloved declares over her to the judgment that God will one day give, the speaker emphasizes her realization that it is God who she wants to please rather than a man. She suggests that although being prepared for the day of judgment may be difficult and presents various trials, it will ultimately be worth it, as it will mean that one day she will be able to sing and regain a sense of joy. Um, so yeah, kind of, it's quite a clear theme, I think, this theme of judgment, this very strong feeling of God, and religion is the salvation, I suppose, and human matters are worthless ultimately. So the first stanza then. I took my heart in my hand, oh my love, oh my love. I said, let me fall or stand, let me live or die. But this once hear me speak, oh my love, oh my love. Yet a woman's words are weak. You should speak, not I. So I took my heart in my hand. She decides to offer her heart to her lover. It is a very vulnerable move, to offer your heart to someone. You're opening yourself up to rejection and failure. She has control over her heart and can choose what she does with it, and therefore she chooses to offer it to this guy. Um, and then you've got the anaphora of oh my love, because it's repeated in a later stanza, stanza 4. It's in parentheses to perhaps represent her thoughts are weak for her love compared to God later on. This then continues with the syntactic parallelism. Let me fall or stand, let me live or die. It shows this vulnerability she's opening herself up to. Um, it's a powerful move to offer your heart to someone and be so vulnerable. So, you can feel like you're living or dying, etc. But this once hear me speak, oh my love, oh my love. Only go so the only going to risk confessing her love to the man once. Only once is she going to offer her heart to him. She is reluctant to, because she fears rejection, of course, but at the same time she does want his love. So this is, essentially it's a one-time deal. Here's my heart, take it or leave it. He then turns her down, and therefore, she crumbles a little bit and then sort of picks herself back up. And yet a woman's words are weak, you should speak, not I. So the narrator then appears to hand the control over to the man. She's now done. Now it's your turn. I've said my piece. You need to say what you need to say. Yet she clearly shows she wants to speak in the stanza and wants to be heard, because otherwise she wouldn't have said anything. This drive is diminished by the end of the stanza when she seems to repeat what the man says. She says that a woman's words are weak, a belief that forces her to abandon the hope she just presented. So it's almost like this man thinks, oh, your words are weak, your words are meaningless. She's put herself on the line here, and he doesn't seem to think that it's enough. There's this passive defiance underlying this stanza. She seems accepting of the prevailing attitude that men should have control, but by ending the stanza with the word I, she gives herself the last word. And that's quite important for the whole of the poem, because of course she takes ownership of her heart and presents it to God again. You took my heart in your hand, with a friendly smile, with a critical eye you scanned, then set it down and said, it is still unripe, better wait a while, wait until the skylarks pipe, till the corn grows brown. So you took my heart in your hand. So again, it reverses the first line of the poem, giving power to the man. So now she's saying he took her heart. When actually at the beginning of the poem, she gives him the heart. So it's quite a reversal there. With a friendly smile, with a critical eye you scanned. It is said that a smile is false if it doesn't meet the eyes. The man appears to be kind when in fact he is coldly analysing her heart. So a classic thing is if someone is lying, they won't look you in the eyes. It's kind of that. So it doesn't matter if they're smiling. If they can't look you in the eyes, they're possibly lying to you. And that's what she's saying. So he's smiling and seems very nice and sweet, but ultimately there's this edge to him that he's being quite cold. He's not even looking her in the eye. He's analysing her heart. So with the critical eye he scanned seems to indicate that he only likes beauty. He's scanning her. He's suggesting that potentially he's objectifying her, and therefore ultimately he isn't a good judge of her. He doesn't know her true heart because he's not really looking at it. He's scanning it. He's not analysing it, if that makes sense. And then set it down. So he just puts the heart down then. It's cold, it's dismissive, very short line there. It's just very blunt what he does. And the notion that it's unripe, it's this idea that, they may be too young, not fertile. I wouldn't go with the not fertile route if I'm brutally honest, but there are some critics that do. But I'd go with that potentially they're too young, or more likely they're just not ready to commit to each other. For whatever reason. That doesn't necessarily have to be age based, but it could be. But I wouldn't go down the fertility route if I'm honest. Wait until the skylarks pipe. This represents happiness and freedom. Skylarks are, those happy little birds that are singing. So wait until the birds sing is what he's saying. And then till the corn grows brown. So it refers to the harvest when crops ripen. It could signify the death and decay and preparation for winter. So maybe the death of her love. So wait until happiness when your love will die for him. So ultimately, is that not basically saying that, she'll never be happy with him because they're not ready to commit to each other, so you've got to move on. As you set it down, it broke, but I did not wince. I smiled at the speech you spoke, at your judgment that I heard, but I have not often smiled since then, nor questioned since, nor cared for cornflowers wild, nor sung with the singing bird. So the first three lines there, you've got the repetition of broke, again emphasising how upsetting it is, and you've got the hyphens there as well, that pause, that broke. It's really upsetting and upsetting her, and also those hyphens could represent the break in the line as well, structural point there as well. And it presents this opposite of what she truly feels. It goes against the view that women in Victorian society were meant to be emotional. This speaker is very controlled. She broke but didn't wince. She's not going to let him know that he broke her. Which, fair play. That stoicism is quite good and goes against female representation in Victorian society, or female stereotypes in Victorian society, I should say. Since then, and nor question since, she has accepted his refusal with strength. Doesn't mean she's happy. I mean, she's not happy about it, because ultimately she put herself on the line and he's turned her down. But she's accepted that he said no. She's not going to, whinge and fight for it, etc. Then cornflowers wild. I've put a picture of cornflowers on the slide for you. They're those kind of pretty bluey, purpley flowers. And they are, meant stereotypically to be worn by young men in love. And if the flower faded too quickly, it was taken as a sign that the man's love was not returned. So basically, the woman didn't love him. So not cared for cornflowers wild, nor sung with singing birds. So basically, she doesn't care if any men fancied her or liked her. She wasn't interested. I take my heart in my hand, O my God, O my God, my broken heart in my hand. Thou hast seen, judge thou. My hope was written on sand, O my God, O my God. Now let thy judgment stand. Ye judge me now. So I take my heart in my hand. Again, she has control of the heart. Back to the first line again. She's got control. And oh my God, there is no parentheses here. She means this one. She's, representing she's free to love God with nothing holding her back. There is a strength to it. It's, parentheses I often associate with not whispering, but almost an aside, like a hidden thought, like a hidden idea. But there's no parentheses here. This is not hidden. This is for you, God. I'm giving my heart to you. My broken heart in my hand. She has been able to repair her own heart. My broken heart in my hand. She's putting her heart back together in her own hand. She's got control. And then thou hast seen, judge thou, and to the end, she is asking God to judge her and the heart. An indication maybe of her own self-doubt about the relationship and of her relief to place her future in something sure and unwavering, her religious faith. Because ultimately, in theory, God won't turn you down. As long as you're willing to do everything you can, God won't turn you down. And my hope was written in sand. If something's written in sand, obviously it's not permanent. It washes away. You know, think on a beach, you write something on it, it will wash away when the tide comes in. So again, signifies her doubts about her previous relationship. So my hope was written in sand about her previous relationship. So she put her hopes on it, but if it's written in sand, it wasn't going to go anywhere anyway. There were doubts to it. So actually, now she's asking God to judge her, and he's more sure. She's more sure about him, and the positive judgment he may give. This contempted contempt of a man, cannot speak. This marred one heedless day, this heart take thou to scan, both within and without. Refine with fire its gold, purge thou its dross away. Ye hold it in thy hold, whence none can pluck it out. So you've got the idea of her offering her heart on one day to a foolish man. Now she offers her heart to God. So one day, foolish man, one day, God. She's taken a step up in the world, I suppose. This heart take thou to scan, both within and without. So the previous man looked only on the surface of the woman, you know, quick scan, very superficial of him. Whereas God looks on the inside and the outside, so both within and without. So he knows her as a person, which is, you know, quite powerful. Refine with fire its gold. Gold is often burnt in order to remove impurities. Although the speaker has been burned by rejection, she still remains pure, which is good. Purge thou its dross away. All earthly pointlessness is dross. So get rid of all the rubbish. Get rid of all the horrible memories and the pointlessness of life. Let me focus on you. And the last two lines there, ye hold it in thy hold, whence none can pluck it out. This indicates that God's love is permanent, unlike the temporary romantic love she had for the man at the beginning of the poem. When you love God, you can't love someone else. And the verb pluck has significance, notably in the Confessions of St. Augustine, where he says, O Lord, thou pluckst me out. Hence the speaker's heart is safe with God, and none can pluck it out. So basically she's saying God will look after her, and God will look after her heart because he knows her truly. Context link, of course, Rossetti never married. There were so there were two men she was close to marrying, but there was a third suitor, but he wasn't close to marrying her. But they were rejected for religious reasons, most notably obviously the first one, when he went back to Catholicism, and she did not. And then if you look at the top of the slide, and I did say this on the first slide as well, but I don't think I said it at the time, there was this constant image of holding and hands throughout this poem, but the holding and the hands, the power is now with God. Previously, the woman was trying to give some power to the man, but he refused it, and now she's trying to give the power, or has given the power, to God. Okay, next bit. I take my heart in my hand, I shall not die but live. Before thy face I stand, I for thou call'st such. All that I have I bring, all that I am I give. Smile thou and I shall sing, but shall not question much. So you've got the first line there, the speaker once more reprising the opening line and taking her heart in her hand. But she is confident because her heart is protected by God. Good. Can't really argue for that again. Next line, I shall not die but live. She will live eternally in heaven, so therefore she won't ever die. I mean, literally she will die, but she's saying, you know, her soul will live on forever because God's looking after her. Before thy face I stand, I for thou callest such. So she's submitting to God, and her submission to God is absolute. She's seeing it as a form of strength and power. And then later on, she talks about singing. So smile thou and I shall sing. She's referencing that skylark again from the first or second stanza, I want to say. And it's resolved because actually she now will sing. She has something to sing for. She is happy because someone loves her truly, which is God. All that I have I bring, all that I am I give. These lines are reminiscent of what is said in a marriage service. But this is between the speaker, and God. She is committing herself to him. And that final line, but shall not question much, she has no need to question God. Her devotion to God is her strength. We see parallels between romantic love and religious devotion. Both involve some level of, I mean, I've put obedience there. I'm going to go with devotion. I think being obedient. Um, Maybe in religion, obedience is relevant. Romantic love, I would argue, obedience isn't quite the right word. But hopefully, you understand my point that there is this devotion between her and God um, that she doesn't need to question because it's clearly always there. Okay, if you need any further information on that poem, do have a look at cross-reference dash it, etc. on that poem. It's a good resource for this poem. It's got about the themes and it goes into a little more depth about various elements of the poem. And then do just make sure that you write up your notes on the A3 grid if you haven't done so throughout this lesson already.